A few things you can do to get the best interest rate on your investment properties. Hi, welcome to my channel. Whether you are planning to buy your primary home or your first investment property, it is important to understand home loan financing. Unlike a mortgage on your own home, investment property financing may involve higher interest rates and more stringent requirements. I want to cover a few essential steps that you can prepare before getting a mortgage with a lower interest rate. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification icon. This channel is about investing in cash flow real estate, achieve your financial independence, and making an impact. My name is Korianne, and I am a real estate investor since 2001. Today, in this video, I will cover a few things you can do to get the best interest rate on your investment properties. I will also go over a couple of things for you to consider as you think about the pros and cons of a long-term versus a short-term fixed interest rates. I used to own a mortgage company and we closed over 250 million of mortgages, so I will have a few fundamental tips to share with you in this video. So let's dive right in. There are many factors that will determine the interest rate. Some are determined by what you have done leading up to the mortgage applications, like your credit scores, employment history, debt to income ratio, cash reserve, and some are determined by your decision at the time of the mortgage application, like fixed versus variable mortgage, and the amount of down payments, and so forth. Although lenders, credit union loan agents, or mortgage brokers may be competitive, they are often not required to provide you with the best deal. It is certainly worth your time to comparison shop and be selective about who you choose to get your mortgage from. A low interest rate can save you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. But how can one avoid paying more than necessary for a mortgage? Compare the offers you get by using an online mortgage calculator to determine the monthly and the total payments. And while doing so, or even before, follow the procedures I am about to share with you. Number one, enhance your credit score. In general, lenders will give you a lower interest rate the better your credit score is. Therefore, do everything possible to boost your credit score by paying off credit card bills and other personal debt obligations. Even a difference of 20 points in your credit score may affect your rate by more than 0.25%. On a $250,000 mortgage, 1/4 of a point may result in an additional $12,000 or more in the interest paid over the life of the loan, or an additional $33 a month. Number two is save up for the deposit. The larger your down payment, the smaller your monthly mortgage payment, and the less interest you will pay over the life of the loan. Larger down payment may also result in a reduced interest rate. Providing a 30% down payment instead of the standard 20% may reduce your interest rate by more than 0.5 percentage point. A higher down payment may qualify you for the lower interest rate, but because of the lower leverage, your total return on your investment may also be lower. So it is important to also know your overall investment objectives. Number three is organize information about your earnings and the employment history. Lenders often need 2 years of consistent income and employment to verify that you can afford your mortgage payments and repay the loan over the long term. To prove your income as a salaried job, lenders want your W-2 forms, 1 month, and the federal tax return from the last 2 years. Lender also verify your employment history with your job. If your income has decreased or you had gaps in your employment in the last 2 years, lenders are concerned about your ability to finance a mortgage, and you may have difficulty obtaining a pre-approval. Self-employed borrowers will also have to jump through additional hurdles to get a mortgage. So comment below if you'd like to hear more about the lender's requirements, specifically for self-employed. Depending on the demands, I certainly can create an additional video on this topic for you. And number 4 is know your debt to income ratio. Lenders are concerned with how much debts you have relatively to your monthly gross income. When calculating your debt to income ratio, or I call it DTI, lenders consider your work and income history. This formula is crucial to establishing your mortgage interest rate. Suppose you can provide income verification for a full documentation loan. In that case, you will get more competitive rates and terms than other loan options for self-employed borrowers, such as no documentation loans or a stated income or stated asset loan. Lenders assume that the higher your DTI ratio, the greater the likelihood you will fail on your loan. In general, lenders like the DTI to be around a third of the 33% of your total income. There are lending options that permit a higher DTI ratio. FHA loans, for instance, have the higher ratio of 43%. DTI ratio requirement will change over time, so ask your loan agent for the up-to-date requirement. Number 5 is use a mortgage calculator. A mortgage calculator helps you to figure out your potential monthly payments based on the information you enter. Examine various mortgage options to choose the best one for you. With monthly payments you can easily afford and total interest expenses you can tolerate. A mortgage calculator is a great tool for you to not just compare mortgage with different interest rates, but it can be used to many what-if analysis. What if you put a more down payment? What if you choose to go with a variable rate mortgage, etc.? As you may have seen in my other videos, mortgagecalculator.org is one I often use. Number 6 is consider interest rate and closing costs. The interest rate is significant, but there are other factors to also consider. Is there a prepayment penalty if you refinance your mortgage in the future? What are the closing expenses in total? Typically, closing expenses ranges between 2 to 4% of the home price. If your property costs about $150,000, you may anticipate paying between $3,000 to $6,000 in fee. This is a wide range, so it is in your best interest to determine what a lender normally charges. Before you sign on the dotted line, the loan estimate document from your lender will provide you with the actual numbers to review. 7. Know your investment objective timeline. This is important. Before shopping for the mortgage, you need to know your investment timeline of how long you will hold on to your investment. Some investors want to hold on to a project for 3 to 5 years. Then they should get a short-term fixed loan to save them money and increase the monthly cash flow. Some investors want to feel secure to lock in for the longer loan term, like a 30-year fix, when they know that they will hold on to their project longer than 10 years. The interest rate is lower when you have a shorter loan term, but you will take more risk if and when you decide to hold on to your investment property longer than 5 years, because no one knows what interest rate will change in 5 years from now. So knowing your objective of the timeline is crucial in your decision making on the long term. I personally like the longer fixed rate because most of my projects are hold longer than 7 years. Number 8 is do your own research. Most of the effort required to get the lowest mortgage rate occurs well before the application is submitted. A high credit score and a substantial down payment are the most effective strategies to reduce your interest rate. However, do not naively rely on your bank, loan agents, or mortgage broker to provide you with the finest terms. Do your own research and run a few mortgage comparisons. Also, keep in mind that just because you qualify for X amount of mortgage does not mean you must borrow that amount. Know your risk. That it is for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do hit the bell icon on your way out. Share with me in the comment below what your experience in getting a mortgage is like. Do you prefer short-term or long-term loans for your investment property? Thank you so much for watching. Let's learn, invest, and make an impact. Ciao!